You spent 3,000 hours in this game, yet you're still stuck in the same rank, repeating the same mistakes and blaming your teammates for every lost round. Stop. The reason you aren't a global elite or a face at level 10 isn't your mouse, it's not your ping, and it's certainly not your frame rate. It's your brain. Specifically, it's how your brain processes chaos. Most players think Counter-Strike is a game of aim. They spend years on aimbots flicking at static circles, thinking that a faster flick is the golden ticket to the pro league. But here is the brutal truth. At the highest level, aim is the lowest form of skill. Every pro has good aim. What separates Simple, Zaiwu, and Donk from the thousands of aim gods who never make it is something invisible. It's a neural architecture that allows them to see the future before it happens. I am going to deconstruct the 3 mental illusions that are keeping you in the amateur ranks. We are going to look at why your reaction time is actually a lie, and how perfect crosshair placement is secretly ruining your ability to clutch. But more importantly, I'm going to reveal a single eye-tracking secret used by the top 1% that will make you feel like you're playing the game in slow motion. If you don't learn this, you will continue to panic the moment you see an enemy. Your hand will shake, and you will spray your 30 bullets into the wall while your opponent kills you with 1. You are currently playing a game of chance. I'm going to show you how to play a game of certainty. This isn't a tutorial on how to throw a smoke on Mirage. This is a blueprint for the mastery of the digital kill zone. Pay attention, because the gap between you and a legend is smaller than you think, but deeper than you can imagine. Let's talk about the 200 millisecond trap. You've probably taken those reaction time tests online and felt proud of your 170 ms score. You think that because you can click a green box quickly, you should be winning every duel. But have you noticed that in a real match, you still get deleted before you can even press left click? That's because raw reaction time is a myth in professional esports. Your brain doesn't just react, it predicts. When a pro player peeks a corner, they aren't waiting for an enemy to appear to start their reaction. Their brain has already simulated 3 possible enemy positions and pre-calculated the muscular movement required for the kill. This is called neural preloading. While your brain is busy processing, "Oh, there's a guy," the pro's brain is already executing the confirm kill command. The amateur brain is reactive. It waits for data, processes it, and then acts. This creates a massive delay, which we call decision paralysis. You see an enemy, you decide to shoot, you decide to counter-strafe, you decide to aim for the head. By then, you're dead. The professional brain is proactive. It operates on if-then loops. If he is behind the pillar, then I microflick 3 millimeters. This happens at a subconscious level. But here is the problem. You can't achieve this state if your eyes are doing what 99% of players do. Most of you are looking at your crosshair. It sounds logical, right? You want to see where the bullet goes. But looking at your crosshair is the fastest way to stay a noob forever. It creates a tunnel vision that kills your spatial awareness. In a moment, I'll show you exactly where your eyes should be looking to unlock what we call the third eye in CS2. But first, we need to fix the biggest mistake in your mechanical movement that is telegraphing your position to every enemy on the map. Stop blaming your aim for missing shots when it's actually your feet that are failing you. In Counter-Strike, your feet are your true crosshair. Most amateurs struggle with movement dead zone. You think you've stopped moving before you shoot, but on the server side, you are still sliding by a fraction of a centimeter. This turns your laser-accurate AK-47 into a random number generator. But there's a deeper level to this. Pros use something called edge clipping. They don't just counter-strafe, they use the geometry of the map to lock their velocity to 0 instantly. Look at the difference here. The amateur, our guy on the left, peeks a corner using the W and D keys, the diagonal death wish. This makes your movement arc-like and slow. The pro peeks using only A and D, keeping their vector perfectly perpendicular to the enemy's line of sight. This makes you appear like a teleporting ghost on their screen. But here is the secret value injection you came for, the audio-visual sync. Most players wait to see the enemy to stop. Pros hear the rhythm of their own footsteps and stop based on the beat of the movement. It's a dance. If you are clicking your mouse based on what you see, you are too late. You must click based on when your movement feels 0. Now, you might be thinking, okay, I'll fix my movement, but I still get panicked in a 1v3 clutch. That panic isn't a lack of courage. It's a chemical hit to your frontal lobe called the amygdala hijack. It literally shuts down your ability to think logically. I'm going to show you the breathe and reset technique that top-tier IGLs use to stay calm when the bomb is ticking and 3 players are hunting them. But before that, we have to address the crosshair lie I mentioned earlier. If you aren't looking at your crosshair, where are you looking? The answer will change how you view the entire map. If you watch an eye tracker on a pro player like Nico, you'll notice something shocking. Their eyes are rarely locked onto the center of the screen. While you are staring at your crosshair like a laser beam, the pro is scanning the threat perimeters. Your crosshair is just a reference point in your peripheral vision. Your main focus should be the gap, the space between the corner and the edge of your screen. By focusing on the space where the enemy will appear, rather than where your gun is, you bypass the brain's processing delay. This is called visual anchoring. You anchor your vision to the environment, allowing your hand to naturally follow your eyes. It's the difference between steering a car by looking at the steering wheel and steering by looking at the road. When you stare at your crosshair, your brain has to wait for an enemy to enter that small circle to trigger a response. When you focus on the environment, your brain registers the movement delta, any change in the static background, instantly. This is why pros seem to have inhuman reactions. They aren't reacting to a person, they are reacting to a change in the pixels of a doorway they've been staring at with their subconscious mind. Combine this with pre-aimed geometry and you become a killing machine. You don't aim at the head simply appears where your eyes already are. This leads us to the most painful part of the amateur experience, the clutch. Why do you perform like a god in deathmatch but fail in the final round of a tournament? It's because you haven't mastered information filtering. You are listening to everything, which means you are hearing nothing. Pros don't listen for footsteps, they listen for intent. In the next block, I'll show you how to read an enemy's mind just by the sound of a single grenade pin being pulled.
Counter-Strike is a game of information, but the amateur brain is an information hoarder. You try to track all 5 enemies, the bomb timer, your utility, and your ammo at the same time. This leads to cognitive overload. A master operates on minimalism. They don't care where all 5 enemies are. They care where the pivot player is. In every round, there is one person whose movement dictates the entire play. If you find the pivot, you find the win. But how do you find them through the noise of flashes and footsteps? You listen for negative information. Negative information is what the enemy isn't doing. If you hear a smoke pop on the A site, but no flashes follow, that's fake information. The amateur rotates immediately, leaving the B site open. The master stays because they realize the audio density was too low for a real hit. This is high-level pattern recognition. You aren't playing against characters, you're playing against a director who is trying to write a script for you. If you follow their script, you die. To break the script, you need the blueprint of aggression. Most of you play safe because you're afraid to die. But in CS2, safe is just another word for predictable. Legends aren't reckless, they are calculated risks. They know exactly when the enemy's attention is divided, usually during a utility swap or a reload, and that is when they strike. This brings us to the final piece of the puzzle. You now have the movement, the vision, and the strategy, but you're still missing the consistency engine. Why can you play like a pro one day and like a silver the next? It's not your form, it's your environmental anchoring. I'm going to give you the exact 3-minute routine you need to do before every match to ensure your brain is in the alpha state before the first pistol round begins. Consistency isn't a gift, it's a ritual. The reason your performance fluctuates is that your mental baseline is unstable. Before you even open the game, your brain is cluttered with the stress of your day, your chores, or your previous losses. You are entering a high-speed digital arena with a cluttered mind. Pros use calibration rounds. Before they join a match, they don't just shoot bots, they calibrate their strafe-to-shot timing. 3 minutes. That's all it takes. 1 minute of counter-strafing without shooting to feel the 0 point. 1 minute of visual tracking, moving your mouse in circles around a static point to sync your hand and eye. And 1 minute of intent visualization, seeing the clutch happen before it starts. You've seen the gap. You know now that your reaction time is a lie, your eye tracking is the key, and your movement is your true weapon. The amateur stays in the loop of blaming the game. The master realizes the game is played entirely inside their own head. You have the blueprint, but a blueprint is just paper until you build the house. Every time you queue up from now on, I want you to ask yourself, am I reacting or am I predicting? If you are reacting, you have already lost. The transformation of a player isn't about getting a better skin or a faster monitor. It's about the transformation of the soul through the pursuit of digital perfection. We don't just analyze games here. We deconstruct the path to excellence. If you are ready to stop being a spectator in your own life and start being a legend in your arena, join our elite circle. Hit the subscribe button, leave a comment with the one mistake you've been making, and let's bridge the gap together. The server is waiting. The question is, who are you going to be when you connect? A victim of the chaos or the one who masters it? Take action now.